Oh, you have a look at that little face and I don't know how you can't not fall in love with these most amazing little native animals we have.
Little man, what are you doing?
My name's Leanne and I am a wildlife carer, specifically for flying foxes, which are also known as fruit bats. As most wildlife carers, we open up our homes to wildlife and they pretty much live inside the house, destroy things, etc. How I get hold of them, I do rescues in the local area and I also rehab and raise them. As everyone knows about the bushfires that are happening even in Queensland, but some pretty horrible ones down in New South Wales have actually directly affected a lot of camps around Singleton, and these guys were actually sent up. They arrived at my doorstep, 50 of them, and we've triaged and sent them out to other carers and groups in southeast Queensland to help ease the burden for the guys down in New South Wales. Basically, the mum's really struggling with the drought and the bushfires and the smoke, and they've left their pups behind. The grey-headed flying fox, which is actually federally listed as vulnerable to extinction, statistics out there are saying there's about 350,000 of them in the wild, but that's a few years old now. We could possibly have even lost up to 50% of them. A facility like this soft release site is something that's really, really needed. They will be support fed for a number of months afterwards so that they integrate slowly with the local colonies and they learn more bat behaviour, etc. You look at that little face and it's really hard to let them go, but trust me, they turn into teenagers. And so when they go into that soft release site, you open up the hatch and you see them fly out and then come in for their support feeding. It's just the most amazing feeling, because these guys need to be free. Flying foxes are actually a very, very clean animal. They groom themselves a lot during the day, and disease-wise, there is no risk if you don't touch them. And there is a post-exposure vaccination if anything does ever happen, but we just say no touch, no risk. Logan City Council have been fantastic. The grants that they provide for wildlife carers and wildlife groups is just second to none. It's been amazing, their EnviroGrants. For anyone that wants to actually help these little guys in the future is just planting a lot of our native blossoms, because that is predominantly what these guys feed on. Fruit netting, anything you can put your finger through, is really bad for any wildlife. So wildlife-friendly netting is fantastic to use, and it's just all those little things. And joining the local wildlife association that you can just find, there's so many of them, just look it up and ask what you can do to help.